Rachel here from Beads by Verchiel, bringing you this week's tutorial on doing a bag charm. Now, fingers crossed that I don't have any more technical issues. I don't really want to put it out there just in case, but I think it's probably down to the fact that my phone is due for renewal and it kept logging me out. So if it does happen, firstly I apologise in advance, but I will hop straight back on if it does. So how are you all doing? Hello Sharon, hi Jay, hi Francis, hi Trisha, how are you doing? Hello Kay. So let me show you, this was one of my bags that I made from So Totally Trisha, her kits. She's on Hot Under Do, and it's all fully lined. I'm quite chuffed with myself for doing that. It's actually nice to make myself find a bit of time to do something other than beading. So this is what we're going to be doing tonight, and you can also double it up as a necklace, or if you're feeling bold, a pair of earrings as well. And it's a little bit of peyote stitch, so if you're new to peyote, there's a little bit in there as well, and I'll take you through step by step. But the good thing is, if you've got any ender beads left, it's a great little bead. You can use your bead suit mix as well. Now, I've just had some new clasps come through as well, so I'm going to show you the clasps that I've got, that obviously you can use as a key ring, or a bag charm. Let's have a look. Hello Janet, hello Betty, hi Carol, hello Jay, hello Deb. What have you all been up to then? Hello Anne, not seen you for a little while, I hope you're well. Well, these are super cute. So we've got some gold hearts, so you've got a little lever push. Now, if the bag handle is too wide for you to fit this on, what you could do is buy some of the just very cheap circular keyring circles and pop it on there, and then have it that way up, so that you have your dangle that way. So let me just show you that. They're only 85p. I've got a gold star as well. Do you know what? Thinking about it, it'd actually be quite nice if you've got someone that's got a lanyard as well, that you could actually pop that onto a necklace and it looks really pretty, and they can clip the lanyard on and off. So I've got a silver star, silver heart, and they've got swivel clasps on them as well. I think these are my favourites. I don't know how they'd marry up with the bags, but rose gold, aren't they lush? And finally the star as well. They're great, aren't they? And I've got one of the big ones. It's slightly smaller than the one I've got. So this is the one I've got. I couldn't get any this big. So this is the ones that I've got. These are £1.75, I think they are. Oh, why is that not opening? Oh, there we go. Just takes a bit of gentle persuasion. So obviously that would clip quite easily round a bag, but you'd have to have fairly fine handles. So I think I put it up that way and attach that bit to the handle and have that bit dangling. But I leave that up to you. Excuse me, I've just dropped something. Oh. And I made a lovely mess now, so I'm going to have a little chat with you whilst I just tidy up my mess. Hello June. Oh, Deb likes the hearts. Yes, I love the hearts. So they're all in the thread at the moment. Hello Nora. Carol likes the silver. Hi Lisa. Yes, that is a great idea, Kay. Kay was saying that they'd make really good clasps. People that have problems with a clasp. I'm glad you like my bag. That's from So Totally Trisha. And she does a lot of Facebook demos. She goes on Hochanda, as I've probably said. And if I can make them, I'm sure you can. And I discovered the other day that my sewing machine is officially vintage. But who cares? It does the job. Right, now, what I'm going to do is obviously demonstrate. I've got a before and an after moment, so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. Now, obviously I've got a giveaway, so stay with me because I'll show you the giveaway a little bit later on. Now, I had an email from the lovely Trisha, who's in the thread this evening, to raise a very valid point about conditioning your thread. And I'm sure Trisha won't mind me mentioning it. I hope you don't, Trisha. Is to say, well, what do you do? What effectively conditions it? So I'm going to show you that. I suppose when you're used to doing it, it's good to be asked the questions because you're not going to just know these things. Now, I've got some on order. They sold out the last batch that I had very quickly. These are the ones that I've got. Now, the lid comes off. I like to keep the lid on mine. And I've actually, can you see there's actually grooves in that? Now, I'll show you with and without the grooves as well. So for conditioning the thread, so I'm going to open up, I'm going to cut my length that I need for tonight. This is what I normally do with this particular one, is I start by holding that over one of the grooves and pull along so that you catch the end. And then I'm going to do all the way, so that's basically in between one of the grooves, and I'm going to pull it all the way along and catch the other end as well. Now you just do the same thing. If you're just doing it like this, then I would clamp it on there and condition it that way. Do it the same way if you've got Thread Heaven. I know the Thread Heaven, sadly, they're not in production anymore. They decided to retire, but these are still produced. And you could say, well, what does it do? Well, firstly, it makes it a little bit stiffer to work with, which firstly makes it easier to thread your needle, and we're all up for a bit of that, aren't we? And the other thing, I find it's much nicer to work with, and also it does stop your needle from coming away from being threaded so quickly as well. Now, I'm not sure if that's one of my normal sewing needles I've got there. Bear with me while I just double check. So how many times do you do it? I just do it once or twice. And normally find that does it. So I hope that sort of clarifies it. Does that sound okay? Does anybody do theirs any differently? And does anybody have any other benefits of using the waxing? Also, it stops fraying as well, which is a bonus. Let's just having a quick look through your comments. That's why I've gone all quiet. Oh no, Francis' last sewing machine caught fire. Oh dear. And Mrs. Herold treadle machine. Do you know, Anne, I've got a treadle machine. I don't use it. But do you see this here? This was in my shop, this unit. And you can see the treadle just underneath. Oh, it's just such a beautiful piece of furniture. But sadly, the machine isn't in operation. Tricia says, happy to share. Thank you. The tassel would make a good zip pull. Yes. Hello, Kim. So we're not seeing. I knew what you meant, Francis. Anne says, sharing is caring. And as Janet says, sadly, the Thread Heaven, they don't make it anymore. No, it doesn't go and cut the needle holes, Sharon. Janet says it stops the thread tangling so much. Oh, that's interesting. So Carol's gran used to be a seamstress, was a seamstress, and always had a lump of wax to hand. Great. And when hand sewing, it stops the thread tangling so easy. Brilliant. So there you go. If you do want one, they're not very expensive to purchase. I've got some hopefully coming from next week. They're coming from the States. So I think things have just been a little bit delayed at the moment. So let's crack on, because there's a couple of different stages to show you. Now I'm going to just tip out some of my seed beads just in anticipation. The seed beads that I'm using for the top part of the peyote, now those are size 8 seed beads. There is no reason why you can't use any, but I think that it's a good one to start with because they're big, and whilst you're getting used to actually doing it, it helps you visually. And the other thing is, because they're big, it gets done a bit quicker. So, you know, bonus all round really. The one I'm using as well is I'm using some crystals. So I'd recommend that you have something relatively big on the bottom just to weight the tassels down nicely. So what we're going to start off with is the peyote first of all. I've just got my notes here so that I don't forget. This is even camp peyote, and for those of you that haven't heard of peyote, it's traditionally a Native American Indian stitch that they used to do all their elaborate beadwork with. It's used throughout beading, bead weaving with needle and thread, and there's so many different versions, but the good thing is this is really straightforward. And I hope I'm not going to mess it up now I've said that. So I am going to zoom in. Let's just clear the deck so that you can see what I'm doing. Now, as before, do jot down any comments in the thread and I will come back afterwards and answer them. So it's probably going to be about 15 minutes here, I think. 15 to 20 minutes doing the demo. So do bear with me, and a few more hellos. Hi Lydia, glad you're here. Hi Sally, likewise too. Right, let's zoom in and right. Ooh, let's just tighten that up a little bit. This bit just takes a couple of minutes just to get set up so that you can see what I'm doing. Now I am going to do, so this is one I've made earlier that we'll refer to. Now I'm going to make this top part here first, and we make this band so that we can actually then attach the tassels. So you actually start off with 5 beads, and before we do that I am going to pop a stopper bead on the bottom. And to do a stopper bead, do not tie it on because you'll get your thread all manky and in knots. Pop a stopper bead on, then bring your needle and go under and up, and that just makes a stopper bead that hopefully should glide off afterwards. So we're going to add 5 seed beads. So we're actually working across this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And obviously the green one is the stopper bead. So we are going to sew through 1, 2, the 3rd bead from the end. So that will scrunch up the end 2 so that they sit alongside each other. So you've got like little feet. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more for this bit. Now I'm going to add a bead, skip the next seed bead and go through the next one. Now that's just to get started. This is where you find that it sticks to everything you thread. So I am just going to tidy that up, and then I shall show you what I've done. So if you can see that, a lot of you will be very familiar with this already. Okay, now we're going to turn, so we're going to go back up that way now. So we add one and we go through the first one that's jutting out, and I'm going to move stuff out the way so that it doesn't get tangled. Nice, pull it nice and tight, add one, go through one. So let's just show you. So it looks a bit higgledy-piggledy at the moment. I like to keep the tension over my finger, but you work in whatever way you're comfortable. So I'm coming back towards me, so I'm doing a turn now. Add one, go through the one jutting out, add one, go through the one jutting out. And then every now and then I push that stopper bead up there so it keeps the tension on it. Tension really is the secret with this. So we're going to turn, go back the other way, add one and go through one, add one and go through one. So hopefully you're getting the gist of that. Now apologies for those that haven't done any bead weaving before. I am using the specialist bead weaving thread. I'm using KO, but there are lots of different brands out there. I've got Peyote that's come in stock today. I'm using a size 10 beading needle, and I've cut about 1.5 meters. Work with as long as you can because it helps not to have to tie off afterwards. Now, every now and then you can start seeing gaps. So stop and pull this side and pull that side. You can also pull out the beads just to tighten up. Now what we're aiming at doing is having 10 beads, top and bottom either side, and then we're going to join it. So I'm just kind of carry on with that. But please do pop a note in the thread whether or not you've done any peyote. Now I know there's quite a lot of you that I know have done it because I think I've taught quite a few of you peyote, and perhaps if you've got any top tips. Now all I'd say is if it doesn't work out to begin with, don't give up. This is why I like this project, is that it's a really lovely introduction. And can you see, you could even do this in a little, make this little type of strip into a bracelet. Now you do occasionally find it's a bit wonky donkey if your tension's not quite right. Or the other thing is, if you're using cheap Chinese beads, you know, like the unbranded ones, then the ones that are mega cheap are often really, really uneven. So the ones that I'm working with, these beautiful bold colours, are called Terra Intensive, and they're made by Verchiel from Czechoslovakia. They're all in the thread. So if you put in the little eyeglass that's at the top, size 8 seed beads, it'll bring them all up, the ones that are available. They're £1.30 for a bag of 10 grams. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. So just a couple more rows to do and we're nearly there. Don't you dare tangle. Sorry if I'm going off screen. I hope I'm not hiding all of that. Let me put that down. I apologise if I am. Add one, go through one. Right, so that's gone a bit wonky donkey. So to tighten it up, I'm going to pull that side and pull that side. So that's where we're at. We've just got a few more rows to go. So I'll just turn it round so that you can see it a bit better. I'm going to pull them both through together. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it should be another 2 rows to get it right. So tell me if you are following this so far. Now, what we want to do once we've done our 10 rows is we want to join it to make it into a circle. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's it. Now, if you look at it, you should have sort of one jutting out there but not there, one jutting out there but not there. I know it sounds a bit odd, but the idea is we're going to join it, and so we'll take this off, or we'll just move it down to the bottom for now. So to join it, so my thread's coming out of here, and I'm going to pop my needle through that one. And if I do it while it's flat, so that you can see, so I'm going to pop my needle through that one. Now that's quite tricky because I've only just done that. And then let's just pull that together. And I keep this tail nice and tight as well. Now, if you can see that, we're going to go to the next one that's jutting out. So you're switching from side to side, and then we'll go to that one that's over the other side, and then I'm going to go down the next one. So let's just open that up. So can you see how that has joined it all up? Now I'm going to reinforce that by going back down and back up again. With peyote, if you're going to be moving your thread, move it diagonally, because that won't show in the thread path. So now that you've joined it, it doesn't really matter too much where you actually put it, so to speak. Okay, now what I would recommend doing is, oh sorry, gone off camera. Right, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I'm conscious that I keep going off camera because I've zoned in quite small. Right, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to tie off the tail on this end. So it does involve me, I don't know, no that's too, I'm going to have to unthread my needle and thread it onto this small end. Now we're going to tie this off because A, it gets in the way and drives you slightly mad, and B, you want the top to be a little, pull it in a little bit, because we have to fit a cone end in there later on, which is like that, and you need to make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't slip through. So I'm going to go down and up, down. Now whilst I'm going around, I'm going to tie off, and to do that I'm going to go under one of the threads, and before you pull it through, go through the knot, and do that a couple of times. I do hope you can see that. Now there's not too much left to show you, there's only really the tassels. So we're going down and up, and it's really, really important that you kind of pull this in a little bit tighter. So this would be the top, and make sure you tie off in 2 to 3 places. Now one thing I would say as well is, if you've got thread that matches, then it's an idea to use it, because you can see this thread. But the other thing you could do is you could always have a little Sharpie pen and just colour the thread in, but just be very careful to make sure that you don't mark the beads. So that's just a little bit more closed in. Okay, so I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to trim that, and at least then it won't get all tangled. Now I'm going to show you how to make the tassels, and you'll get the gist of it quite quickly. Now let's just go to this piece here. So that's the top. We've made this bit here, and then off of each one at the bottom, out of each of these seed beads, we're going to make one of these. So you're going to have 10 tassels in total. So we're going to start off by making the tassel, and on this one I've used 3 groups of 8 beads. So I'm coming out of a seed bead here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I'm just going to switch to my next colour, so bear with me. You don't have to stick to the 8, it's just I quite like them nice and long. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these are all part of the Terra Intensive range. So you've got the sea green, the lime and the hot pink. Now at the bottom I'm going to use a size 6 magenta. So you get stuck to everything. And a gold size 6. This is just to add extra embellishment to it. And then I've got a crystal. I'm going to add the crystal. And on the bottom, I'm going to add a seed bead. I'm going to add the lime green one. So we're going to mist that at the bottom and shimmy your needle all the way up through the top. You don't have to do it in one hit. Make sure you don't split the thread, and when I say split the thread, it is so easy to actually pop your needle in the middle of the thread, and that if it gets stuck, that's more than likely what you've done. Now I'm just going to zoom in a wee bit. Okay, can you see that I'm coming back up through one of the seed beads at the bottom? So pull that. So you've got your first tassel, and then we're going to go down the next one. So your thread basically comes round and down, like so. So carry on and do another one. So I'll do a few so that you get the gist of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, you don't even have to keep the same combination. You can juggle it around if you want to. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then a pink, a gold, a crystal, a lime green, and then we go all the way up the top. And then when you get to the top, again you come up through one of the bottom seed beads, and then you go down. How are we doing for time? So you'd continue that all the way around. I'll just turn that round. So let's just compare this one. So this is just got the 2, and this one has got all 10 around it. Okay, so the next little bit that I'm going to show you, I'm going to put this to one side and I'm going to show you how we actually finish off. So how do we get that that little bead to sit inside? So let's part the skirt. Can you see that I've actually got a cone end in here and a little bead? And so that's effectively what we're going to use. So I've got a cone end. Now, in my wisdom, I've got a silver wire wrap piece, but never mind. Normally I'd have a corresponding one with it. So I'm going to pop a little seed bead on the bottom, and you could either have a crystal or a little size 6 on the bottom. It's just really to stabilise it. So we're then going to pop that cone end. These are available in the thread as well. And then we're going to bring this up. Now, do you remember at the start I mentioned about making this bit small around the top? That's so that this cone end doesn't just come straight through. If it does, whoops, no, bear with me. Let's see if that other one's a bit thicker. Now, I really needed to do a little bit more. Oh, it is silver. Why did I think that was gold? What Wally? I think I tested it on one of these silver ones. So pop that up through there. So you do need to test it to make sure that you've got... Right, doing well here, aren't I? I know I tested it on one of those, but I have a feeling that it is this one. Right, third time lucky. That's it. Right, so if you get it just right, it sits so that when you hold it, it doesn't fall through. So I tested that when I actually made it yesterday. So that sits on there, and then I've got an 8mm glass pearl that I'm going to pop on the top, and then I'm going to pop a little seed bead on the top just to embellish it, like so. Okay, so now I'm going to do a wire wrapped loop, and to do a wire wrap loop I'm going to actually hold that, wrap it round one side of your pliers, and then either while it's on there or after is just do a couple of wraps round the side. Right, that's not quite in focus. I think it's focusing on my pliers, like so. Now you could either just pop a jump ring, obviously you're going to trim that down as well, so you use the flat side of your pliers against it, obviously trim it off as well. Now what I did on this one was I actually stitched a loop. So I will stitch a loop and I'm going to attach it. Let's attach it to one of the hearts. So how many beads did I use? Let's have a look. 5, so 10 beads. So it doesn't really matter what colour. You can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you want to go through the hole. You want to go through that end as well, And personally, I would tie that together and then reinforce it. So to tie together, tie both ends and then do another knot. It's probably, you might want to actually tie it with, pop a little bit of nail varnish on there as well. So I would reinforce by going back round the thread path. I mean, obviously you could just use a jump ring if you want to, but I just thought it just added a nice bit of touch, and it breaks up sort of seeing too much silver. So you'd keep reinforcing that maybe 3 times. I think, oh no, I haven't got any thread showing there. And then tie off. So to tie off, go through or under your thread and tie a knot. Under your thread, tie a knot. So do that in a couple of different places. Now, I would personally possibly tie that one off as well, but just for speed. So there you have your beautiful tassel bag charm or keyring, or even attach that to a chain if you want to. And you can't even see that cone end in there either. So that's the other one as well. So this one I've got the gold check beads. Now these mixed ones, I was due to have a delivery of those today, but unfortunately they haven't arrived, so I'm hoping they're going to be here tomorrow. So there will be more of these multicoloured ones very soon as well. Right, I'm going to zoom back out and we're going to have a look at the giveaway as well. Oh, it's a little bit tight. And let's flick for your comments as well. Right, bear with me. So Anne's saying about the indigenous Americans also use dyed cactus seeds, which when eaten were hallucinogenic. I love it. Hello, other Francis. There's 2 Francises in the group. Oh, we've got lots of thumbs up. Lydia said fabulous. Anne says lovely. Oh, back of a curtain tie. What a great idea. Wouldn't that be lovely? You pay a fortune for those, don't you, as well? I like that, Betty. Francis likes that. Brilliant. Deb likes it. June likes it. Jay. Lydia's going to have a go. And Deb likes the multicoloured one. Now, what I was thinking for next week was to actually, off the back of this, is actually do a bit of a seed bead soup where we do a multi-strand necklace, probably one that goes over the head, that we can incorporate the tassel with. So a little bit like what I've got on in terms of length, but threading a necklace, so how we're getting a continuous loop with seed beads. Let me know in the comments what you think. So Deb said she needs to have a watch a few times. Kay says really good, thank you. And Janet, very nice, thank you. Yeah, to be honest, I'm the same. Even when I've written the pattern myself, you know, which I have done this one, it was inspired by something I've seen, but I still have to go back and remind myself. So Lydia likes it, Carol likes it. Oh, the curtain was actually Carol's idea. Well, Carol, brilliant idea. Tricia, sounds a great idea. Yes, please, to the necklace. brilliant. Lydia loves peyote. Now, Lydia, you're doing some beautiful peyote work with your bracelets at the moment. And if you hop on over to the feed, Lydia's, they're beautiful. And you've got that beautiful sort of splayed effect by changing the sides of the seed beads in the peyote. Tracy, hello there. So a loop with no findings as a necklace to hang on one. Yes, that's right. So it's literally no findings. So it'd be good for people that have got allergies as well. Because I suppose what you could always do for the necklace is you could just have that little metal bit if they've got an allergy, so that it's against their clothing, not their skin. So let me show you the giveaway. Oh yes, Nora, like I've said before, Nora does amazing bags with beads, with right angle weave. And I'm glad that's given you a bit of inspiration. So let's show you what our giveaway is. For the giveaway, you have got the 3 sets of different seed beads that I showed you tonight. It's got some of the gold and the green for the bottom. It's got the crystals that I used as well. You have the heart clasp. I've actually put an ordinary head pin in there rather than a ball head pin. So you just turn that loop as you would with the earrings. You don't have to use the wire wrapping. You've got a cone end and an 8mm bead. So please, if I could ask you to possibly like the post of this video, and that way I can just write everybody's name down from the thumbs up. It saves me having to go through the whole feed, and sometimes it takes a while for the feed to show up as well. So I think that's it for tonight. I'm off tomorrow to Peterborough. I reckon I'm going to be the only one in the hotel. And yes, I have checked that they're open. So I'll have to sit there and have my takeaway. But I really didn't want to be travelling up about 5 in the morning to get to Hochanda. So it'd be so lovely if you could join me and watch Hochanda on Saturday. And I've just put a post on there. If anybody's got any of the kits that I've put on Hochanda before in the past, there's an email address that you can share your makes, and hopefully they'll be broadcast on the live show. Oh, thank you. That's a pleasure. Always good to have you all with me. Thank you so much. Yes, I'll see you Saturday. All right. Thank you so much. Well, take care, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll speak to you on Sunday. Bye.